Hello, everyone. Welcome to Academy of Astrology podcast. Today, we have a very different podcast because we are in this interesting moment. We have very busy transit, right? Because Venus just turned back to Pisces, and we have the solar eclipse is going to happen on Saturday, and on Sunday we have Neptune going to move to Aries, and that was a little bit crazy, I think, and but it's also kind of a good timing for step into the new journey. And at this moment, we have something happen in, I mean, we are not today. We are not going to talk about modern astrology because we are talking about something very, very different. Have you noticed me, Luiza, and Lianne? We all have something new going to share with you. Hello, Luiza. Hello, Lianne. How are you?
Very well.
Good, thank you. Good.
Considering the times.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
Mercury, you forgot Mercury?
Oh, yes. Mercury is going to move back to Pisces on Sunday too. Yes. How could I forget this? Because before we recording, we just complained about how terrible that Mercury retrograde could be.
Yeah. Do you know what? I thought that lunar eclipse was grueling. I thought it was quite hard, and there was a sense of, I mean, my son and I got this horrible virus. It was very Pisces, Virgo type thing, but it was very like just a lack of energy. And just feeling a little bit lost and no motivation. But already I can feel the this eclipse building up this weekend with the Aries energy. I think there's motivation back, there's energy back, and there is a sense of excitement and enthusiasm
Definitely.
despite everything that's going on in the world. But then we're going to dip back into Pisces, aren't we? So go back over old ground.
But I agree with you. There is an excitement about
Yeah,
this new moon in Aries.
yeah,
A little bit of fire,
yeah,
a little bit of action.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Although, what kind of action? That
Well,
remains to be seen.
yeah. I think that's very interesting. That's why when every time I'm talking I'm in the podcast, I will mention about the both Mercury and the Venus retrograde is kind of hold us back, invite us to reflect a little bit before we, set up a new journey, before we go crazy and go push forward. Well, talking about this, what are you busy at this moment? What are you focused on at this moment, Luiza and Lianne?
Well,
Louisa, would you like to go first?
Yeah, please.
well, Lianne and I met through Rod, and we kind of clicked. And then we discovered that both of us were writing books at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. And then we discovered that our host, Rod, was also writing a book. So let's talk about our books that mine and Lianne came out more or less at the same time at the end of 2024 or beginning 2025. Rod is about to burst into the sky.
I will talk about my later. But okay, first, okay, Luisa, what's your book's name? And could you show us your book cover?
Absolutely. My book, I had 9 years ago, I had written an astrology book in Portuguese. By the way, I'm Portuguese,
Mhm.
and had been used by my colleagues in teaching. And it was 12 chapters, each chapter about one sign, with several essays about each sign, and lots of our archetypal symbolic coincidence from classic music to movies, and then the actually gist of each sign. And this one was completely organic. because I had been writing about important tipping points in my life.
Mm-hmm.
When I turned 74, I started writing about these tipping points. And then my granddaughter asked me something about college, and I answered, and she said, "How do you know that?" Oh, I have an MBA from a previous life. And she was like flabbergasted. She's British, flabbergasted. And then I realized my family knows nothing about me. So
Ah,
I decided, because I'm not famous, I didn't climb the Himalayas or discover the vaccine or anything. It's not like a memoir. I decided that I would pick up episodes of my life and tell them what was going on. And then I said, no, this is just a narcissistic exercise. Let me frame these episodes in astrology so that the astrology crowd, my tribe, can enjoy them in a different way. So,
definitely.
so my book is called Memories of an Astrologer, and Lianne has read it and can tell you if my purpose became actually a reality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, that is very interesting because I also get this book as my Christmas gift. And I really enjoyed it because I know Luisa for a while. And the first time I met Luisa, that was because I like Luisa say, I'm not a superstar. I'm not inventing the one inventing vaccine or something. I'm not Elon Musk or whoever. But she's very kind to everyone, and we connected, we click, we chat, we think that ever. And then how Luisa look after other people really inspire me. Really inspire me. So that's why I always enjoy, Luisa's present and chat with Luisa. Okay, dear Lianne, I have to say my story with Lianne is a love in the first sight. No, not that, but not way. But really, Lianne was we were in the conference. That was the first one after COVID, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the first one, the first time I met Lianne. And then Lianne was chatting, and we were just chatting. And then I said, God, I like her. And then I'm just like, let me check what she's talking about. And she's talking about Juno. I say, oh, come on, Juno. Oh, God. Did you mention about the mundane astrology? I say, curious, and I definitely going to have have just try to listen. What does Juno meaning in mundane astrology? And I was totally,
Yeah.
totally in love with that talk. And now we see this topic become her book. Lianne, show us your book cover. Hi.
Juno.
Juno book. Ah, it's so lovely, so beautiful. Could you tell us what is this book about and you know your experience?
Yeah, so yeah, I'd started researching Juno a few years ago from a personal perspective, but then obviously I love mundane astrology and started seeing Juno popping up everywhere. And we'd come through COVID, and then I got selected to speak at the conference, and I wanted to speak about Juno and show that Juno is so much more than just something to use in synastry, something more
Mm-hmm.
than just, a significator of the ideal marriage partner. So I did that talk that you came to, Rod, and I focused on Juno connecting into the 2020 air mutation when Jupiter and Saturn, moved into air and formed the conjunction at 0 Aquarius. And of course, the West was withdrawn from Afghanistan. So I built
Yes.
talk around Afghanistan, and Juno was so prominent in the history of Afghanistan, the relations with the US, the West, the Doha Agreement, and it turned into a really great talk. Yeah.
Mm.
And from then on, I just carried on building a body of work on Juno. And then Luiza and I did a joint article. So Luiza had written a piece on Paul Arago, the artist. And Luiza got in touch with me to consult on Juno in Paula's chart. And then somehow it became a joint article, but it was born from Luiza, really.
Oh,
And that got.
I always felt that women and female archetypes are reduced to Venus and Moon.
Yeah.
And that cannot be. It's not right. I mean, so I've been adding, not to all my clients, but I've been adding in many charts, especially those that I do a biography on. I add the Juno, Vesta, Paula's, and Sarah's always. And then in this particular case, because she's an artist that left a body of work, she's Portuguese, lived in England, and then Juno was right there in the middle of all her Aquarian madness. And I said, no, this has to be done with Lianne. And that was it. And it's part of the book. She included that in her book.
Beautiful. Wow. That is a kind of, I mean, a lot of people ask me, why can't you, host a program like a mundane astrology discussion and, with so many people? I said, because we all getting unwell and we all respect each other and we all kind of try to connect with each other. And that is, how astrologers work together and make interesting dialogue. It's not just I'm the best. Oh, you are stupid. I don't want to talk to you. Oh no, you didn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And I think, well, fine. There's astrology like that, but they will enjoy their own talk. That's fine. I really enjoy collaboration.
Yeah.
And when we work together, always we can see from each other's view. Even some people will have totally different view, but we will listen to it. We will understand, And that was so interesting. But, well, let me talk about my book. Well, I want to talk about my book a little bit, although it's not there yet, but the Comets and Astrology. It was beginning in the 2013. I mean, I was the comet, the 10 stars was in the sky, and I was getting started to wondering about why no astrologer mentioned about it, and the people asked me, and I was just like, interesting. I think we know comet could be some bad omen or something, but no one mentioned more. And I never studied in the school about comet. So I started checking the book like Mundane Astrology, Andre Boubou. Yeah, there is some chapter, and I realized it's there, but we never talk about it. So I started to collect those things, and then also, I'm not happy with just like ancient interpretation. So I try to find my own meaning, and that gave me a lot of joy to do the research. And I wrote an article published in 2014 on the AA Juno. And then that also gave me a chance to give a talk in the astrological conference. Then I start to, put up all the kind of research on comet. Eventually, now I have enough case study. So I say, now we can make it like a book. Well, that was last year. We have 2 comets in the sky. So it's about time. But I was delayed and delay. Now I'm saying it should be published this year. I'm in the final editing. That's Mercury Retrograde job. And I have to go to every detail, have I make mistake with date? Have I make mistake with the people's name or something? It's kind of fun. But to be honest, it is my first English book, so it's very different. Talk about that. I know both you, Lianne and Luiza, you do the self-publication. Do you have any tip to share with our colleague when you are carry out an action of self-publication, like for example, publish on Amazon?
Well,
Who
go
should?
ahead, Lianne.
Oh, Lianne, okay.
So, firstly, you have to be passionate about your
Mm,
book. It's like a
yeah.
baby. You are giving birth to it's a creative process. So you have to have the passion there, and you have to really love what you have in your book. And the reason I self-published was because I wanted full creative control. The
Mm-hmm.
book had to come from me,
Mm-hmm.
not someone else's vision of what the book should
Uh-huh.
be.
Yeah.
So that was very important. I had all the information there. I'm very handy with editing, with Word,
Yeah.
everything. I'm a good writer. However, we get blind to our own work. So I would highly recommend, if you're self-publishing, find yourself someone to proofread for you who's going to check that all the grammar's correct, all the just basically all the editing's there. If you're including charts, you need all the chart data. You
Mm-hmm.
need someone else just to check that everything's correct, check all your referencing. So I had a really amazing proofreader in Chris Mitchell who did a great job.
Oh,
He,
wow.
yeah, he polished it beautifully. So it just gave it a really professional edge. That was great. And I'm going to use Chris again because I've got some more books coming out. And I got myself a wonderful designer for the cover. Yeah, that
Okay,
was really
what is your
important.
next book? Well, come on.
Yeah.
So,
What is,
well, my next book, I've written a fiction novel, and
oh, that
that's
one.
yeah, I'm busy at the minute just giving that one last polish. Then I'm going to send it off to Chris. He's going to proofread it for
Really?
yeah.
You know what? When that published, I'm going to interview you and the quiz because we
Well,
will never imagine you two working together.
no, exactly. So I'm busy in my spare time trying to give it a last polish. I've got a couple of last minute ideas I want to put into the book.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's been on ice for a couple of years, really. Um, but that it's a fiction novel, but
Uh-huh.
it's got lots of astrological themes wrapped through it. There's astrology in
Wow.
it, and it's based around the myth of Lilith and the demonization of women. But it's I'm really excited about that. And then obviously I'm going to do the sequel to the Juno book. Well, not a
Ooh.
sequel, but the next in the installment because I'm going to do a box set. So I've done Juno, and the next book, which will be out probably this time next year, will be about dwarf planet Haumea.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've had a really good experience with the self-publication route. So I'm just going to stay on that route. And
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the creative control. But I would say you have to have a whole lot of energy behind it to put into the PR process and getting it out there and, keep publicizing it and but I think the passion that
Yeah.
it's about the
Definitely.
passion. If you have that, you will be able to do it. Yeah.
And I think the fact that you're now going to publish another book,
Yeah.
it also is very important when you are on Amazon because you have one book and then another book,
Yeah.
and then you have a profile and you build a
Yeah.
profile. So that's
Yeah.
the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I agree with about the creative control
Yeah.
because on my first book I was approached by a Portuguese editor and they and I didn't like the layout. I didn't
Mhm.
like what they did with the book.
Mhm.
And there's very little I could do. On the other
Ah.
hand, because they had a book club in that editor, it immediately sold 1,000 copies, and then on and on and on and sold more. And then it's out of print. It's called in Portuguese Diary of an Astrologer, out of print. And they won't print again because they don't, it's already in the book club. But be, that it was a completely different experience this time. First of
Yeah.
all, it was a very personal, and I didn't want to make it. Of course, I talk about out of bound planets. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about secondary progressions. I talk about transits, about influences in the birth chart in certain moments of one's life, and what that's what is the implication of those drives in the decisions that you make.
Mm.
And this is so it was way more personal. And I even wanted to add the charts a little bit like Jeffrey Cornelius has in his book, like um, hand drawn charts instead
Mm.
of using the, you know, hand drawn charts instead
Yes.
of using uh, solar
Printout.
plexus
Yeah,
charts,
solar fire
a
printout.
printout,
Yeah.
because this was so personal. And
Mm.
I certainly would not, like Lianne, give anything, any, any say to an editor that in order to sell 100 more books or
Yeah,
20 more books would require me to do so and so and so. So
yeah,
that control is very important. I, on the other hand, didn't have a great editor. Someone said, "Oh, I'll take a look," and I was sloppy, but I really don't care because this is so personal, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sloppy person, so I'm
can
not
I
a
can I just add something there, Luiza?
Yeah.
It's no, when you read your book, it's so personal and it's
Mm.
a fascinating journey because you take us on a journey through your life and it's illustrated and wrapped around that are all the progressions and transits. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
wonderful astrology lesson at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. You get so absorbed in the story.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter about the format. I mean, your book is beautifully formatted. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But it's the content that people are interested in. It's
Mm-hmm.
so rich in experience and the memories. And one minute you're laughing, the next you're almost crying. And
Mm.
it's like that's the most important thing. It's the content that
Yeah.
people want. Yeah.
yeah.
I
But
agree. It's, Mercury in Pisces. That is the exact moment we dive into this type of, autobiography, but also with, astrology symbol.
Mhm.
what you guys have done, or your book, your comment book, it's opening, and the Juno book for sure, and the next one, which I'm dying to read and know more, because I knew a lot about Juno, and your book opened up a lot to me. But your
Yes.
next book is going to be a revelation for me. And
Yeah.
your book, Rod, is going to be a revelation
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we don't know. We are stuck at half a dozen of symbols, and there is a lot more out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 I'm quite kind of quite proud of this work, to be honest, because like you talking about your experience, for me is totally, I mean, it's like Luiza, we are writing in another language, and that is a challenge, writing in another language. And then like getting started to worry about my vocabulary, my grammar, so everything. So thank God I have a very good friend who helped me to go through with it. And then editor, to be honest, would be very interesting character for me, because this time I'm kind of a, let me talk about it, because in the beginning I want to self publication on Amazon. On the day I want to go through it, that was so funny. I realized the format wasn't right, and then if I want to self publication on Amazon, I have to get a PC because I use Mac. I have to get a PC and reformat everything. I was just like, oh my God, I really don't know what to do. And eventually, Way 6 astrologers, Margaret Cahill, stepped in and say, well, if you want, we can publish your book. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. That was kind of a, may I? Could I? So I just like kind of, okay. And then I started working with an editor who is really kind of taking care of my book. And we really, it's not just proofreading and editing. He really goes through a lot of detail. I think I appreciate it is with a kind of great care, great care. But I am Mercury in Pisces. Then the Mercury, T square, Saturn, and the Neptune. So my Mercury in Pisces, T square with the Neptune, I say, for God's sake, how could I remember all that detail? The Mercury, Saturn say, focus and do what you have to do, correct it, and find exactly things. So it's kind of a trigger my T square of a Mercury and Neptune and the Saturn T square. That was a very interesting experience, to be honest, because I published more than 20 books in Chinese language. I never have this experience. But
Well,
I would, yeah.
I'm not. I think I jokingly say, when God created shame, I must have been in the bathroom or something. So I said, if I make a mistake, it's my mistake. If I don't speak correctly, I don't speak correctly. I really don't care. I wanted people to hear my voice.
Yeah.
And that was it, you know. And so how many people can say, oh, I published 20 books in Mandarin and now
I
I'm
know.
publishing one in English? Oh, come on, right? So what if the grammar is not perfect? What if the adjective is
Exactly.
not perfect? Who cares? I mean, this is
Oh,
your research and your work. And without that, we wouldn't have it.
so
Exactly.
kind.
Can I just say, I've seen a couple of very tiny sections of Rod's book, and it's incredible. It's really
Oh,
incredible. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And I think you're bringing something that no one else has done, Rod.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm so excited. I'm really excited
yeah.
about this book. Also, I don't know when it's going to publish, but we are maybe going to have an online party or something. Definitely going to launch it.
But
Well,
if it's Wessex astrology, I mean, and Margaret, you are in a different, you are in a more, I wouldn't say professional, but you are definitely with very high level company.
that's
Look,
different.
that's different. You know, I thought about it, I must say, um, because many years ago in in my first conference, I mean, I'm ashamed of saying where, but I will say it. It was 2000 in Lucerne in Switzerland. I got to know Margaret and Melanie Reinhardt, and we
Hmm.
were on a boat cruise, and we clicked over a
Uh-huh.
lot of wine.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not about I think it's just a different way to publication from our old view, from our experience or what used to be. You have to publish by publication. That's everyone's like where I'm going to. But now the new world, everyone can do publish your book like, and you have more control. You have more control, but you also take more responsibility. And I eventually decide to go with Waysex was because well, yes, they have a great name. That is kind of a kind of a
Yeah,
but in another way is it's my first book in English. Maybe I should be more cautious and with people who pay the attention, look after my work. I think that is not a bad thing. So I'm really looking forward to see this book coming out. And I see a lot of like our dear friend Tanya Danielle. She is going to publish her book. Oh my God, that would be so-called a Bible classic. That is like a huge research of a declination and the latitude, longitude. That.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I think we should, a person who's writing a book or thinking of writing a book, it's
Mhm.
really thinking what is right for that person.
Yeah.
That's it. It's what it's right. For
Yeah,
me and Lianne, it was right. I was not
Yeah.
going to. I had already one experience, and
yeah,
I could have called them, and then because then I translated into Portuguese, so it's also available in Portuguese. And this whole thing was going to create a mess in terms of rights and stuff like that. So
yeah.
there you go.
Okay. I see. I see. Well, it is very interesting. I mean, we are talking about our writing writing experience during the Mercury retrograde and back to ties and all fused together. It's not just about the word, it's about our passion. It's about our love to astrology, to be honest. It's about our love to astrology. To be honest, I'm going to share with you because quite interestingly, I saw some advertising on YouTube. People going, let me teach you how to write, how to publish 10 books a year and be a best-selling writer. On I was like, I don't understand that.
Well, with AI,
If,
you can.
AI, yeah.
But then
I was
it's not
like,
your book. It's not your book.
no, it's not at all. I have to love my idea. I have to crazy about my idea that I want to, look after it and water it and expand it, let it grow to a beautiful tree. And that would become my book.
Yeah.
And they are kind of, you can kind of AI your book. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, with Pluto in Aquarius, I understand what this AI is, how it happened,
Yeah.
and I'm cautious where it's going to lead us.
Oh, yeah. You will
On,
see.
on one hand, it can lead us in a positive way. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I follow an independent Italian journalist that
Yeah.
speaks Italian only, like a good Italian,
Uh-huh.
and so his message is very limited. Through AI, with his own voice, he's now broadcasting in Chinese and Spanish and Russian. So overnight, through AI, his message of justice, of critical thinking,
Mm-hmm.
is now being broadcast for what? 4 billion or whatever
Mm-hmm.
people?
Yeah.
And it's his voice translated with good grammar,
Uh-huh.
but it's his message.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
AI just only allows him to go from Italian, which has a very reduced audience,
Mm-hmm.
to a major audience
Mm.
because he does English, Spanish, Russian, and Mandarin.
I agree. AI is a tool. It's a great tool. It helps, to be honest. As when I'm writing, when I face the grammar check, I will always go through AI to do grammar check first. But then when AI want to alternate my paragraph of writing, I will say no, just check my grammar, and I will take it down and do it again. Just double check. Have they changed my meaning? And AI is a good tool, to be honest. And but using AI to fabric a book, let me say fabric a book.
No, that is the concern. And um, if I was reading a post by Deborah Holding the
Yeah,
other day, and she's saying there's AI bots going into her SkyScript website, and there's the potential for the AI bots to take all that information. So you just type some astrological term
yeah.
in your search box, and the AI bots will just pull off, for example, what Deborah has on her SkyScript website. So the AI, we have to be careful that our work isn't stolen or plagiarized,
Yeah,
just regurgitated on the internet, because when you do something like that, it comes from the heart. It is like
yeah,
giving birth to a baby, and that
exactly.
that is very personal, and it's very individual, and it's unique. And that is the potential shadow of Pluto in Aquarius for anyone
Hmm.
wanting to write books or collect or research. So how we navigate forward, I don't really know,
Hmm.
but I'm sure we'll find a way, won't we?
Definitely.
Do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Louisa. And thank you, Lianne. I really enjoyed today's chat. And then, I really wish you both good luck with your new book and the next book, Lianne, your next book, especially that story. And then 好美啊, can't wait.
Your book as well, Rod. Best of luck with that. It's going to be great.
Wow.
Well, keep you
I'm
posted.
so looking forward. So looking
Yeah.
forward.
And I want to recommend all the beginner. If you are into the story type to learn astrology,
Yeah,
please,
it's fabulous.
this come
Yeah,
with the heart. This come with the
yeah,
heart. You learn astrology with the people's story.
yeah.
Hey,
It's
Yeah,
how
beautiful.
many people going to share that with you?
that was the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm at an age that I'm thinking of legacy, so that was the point.
yeah.
You are our legacy. Thank you, Lianne. Thank you, Luiza. Well, I'm really looking forward next time we go into the world scope. We can talk about more serious things, but today we have a chance to talk about our recent work and share our experience. That is so fun, so interesting. Well, also, as we are all here, and I think we are going to Portugal, right?
Yeah,
We are
Yeah.
go to Porto. So that's promote a little bit. I think it's in May. I think it's from the 8th
9th to 12th.
Yeah.
9th to 12th. Okay, 9th to 12th. And in city called Gaia, but it's next to Porto, right?
So it's on the other side of the river.
Okay.
And are you going to talk about comets? What are you
No.
going to...
I'm going to talk about blind spot in the chart.
And Lianne, you are going to talk about Juno.
Juno and Ceres. Yeah.
Oh, Juno and Ceres.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now I'm going to talk about what surprised me most throughout my career as an astrologer.
Wow.
Cool.
And for
So, yeah.
you who know what I'm talking about, I even asked Anna and Rav if I could share some of the asteroid thing.
Yeah,
That's true.
I know people who follow our channel. They definitely know what Luis are talking about. If you are first time who hear this, go to check our word scope. Every time, I mean, at least the last 3 episodes, Anna always brings some a place name asteroid. That is always joy. It's always great entertainment, but always very informative. Like you learn a lot. And that is astrology. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
take care. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.